16 years ago today, Utah Jazz coach Jerry Sloan became the first in NBA history to win 1,000 games with a single team. Described as one of the greatest and most respected coaches in NBA history, he spent nearly his entire 23-year coaching career at Utah, managing the team through good times and bad, leading some spectacular talent such as Carlos Boozer and Karl Malone, and making the Western Conference playoffs 16 times in a row. Read excerpts from his milestone victory 2009 Jerry Sloan in 2010 credit. Stephanie Young Merzel CC 2.0 winnings fine Sloan said after the match, but that's a short-lived thing. Losing sticks with you for a long time. The victory of 104-0 over Oklahoma City meant Sloan's record was 1,506, an average of 50 wins a season or a nearly bang-on 60 win rate, an impressive feat considering the grind of the NBA. In fact, he was one of 3 coaches in NBA history at the time to win 50 or more games on 10 separate occasions. Under him, the Jazz had only one losing season in the past 20 by 2009. His teams made the playoffs 18 times, and he took them to 16 straight winning seasons, 1988-2004, the second longest streak in league history. More good news on this date. The London Gazette, the oldest surviving journal, was first published in 1968. U.S. legislation established the Corporation for Public Broadcasting as a federally funded non-profit to ensure universal access to non-commercial, high-quality content like Mr. Rogers' Marking into the funds to 1,400 locally owned public stations in 1989. Congress overrode President Nixon's veto of the War Powers Resolution to limit presidential power to wage war without congressional approval. 1938. Nancy Pelosi became the first woman Speaker of the House in United States history. Third in line to the president, 2086, Allison, a Democrat from Minnesota, became the first Muslim elected to Congress. 2086, Wisconsin voted to elect Tammy Baldwin to become the country's first openly gay U.S. senator by a margin of 15-4. It's 2082, our first-time candidate, Danica Roem in Virginia, became the first openly transgender woman in the nation to win a seat in a state legislature. 2018, happy birthday to Joni Mitchell, who turns 80 today. The Canadian singer-songwriter and painter is one of the most influential female musicians of the late 20th century. Her many hit songs include Both Sides Now, Chelsea Morning, Big Yellow Taxi, A Case of You, River, California, and Free Man in Paris, all recorded before she was 32. Joni, at a 2019 California concert starring Blondie and Elvis Costello, her distinctive open-tuned guitar was prompted by her childhood bout with polio, which afflicted her fingers. Joni said the improvised tuning freed her songwriting and was a tool to break free of standard approaches to harmony and structure. 5 years ago, she suffered a brain aneurysm, and she also suffers from a rare disorder called Morgellons disease. In recent years, she channeled her creativity into a book of drawings and writings, Morning Glory on the Vine, early songs and drawings, and a biography about her life, Rekha's Daughter, which was released in 2017. 123 years ago today, Konrad Lorenz, the father of modern ethnology and Nobel laureate, was born in Vienna. In 2002, he was ranked as the 65th most cited scholar of the 20th century, largely because of his work on several foundational behavior patterns in animals, particularly birds. While he held membership in the Nazi Party, his membership in the army was involuntary. He regretted both following the war, which interrupted his scientific work. Konrad Lorenz Wright and his Nobel Prize co-winner Nikolaus Tinbergen left in the gardens of Max Planck University, Munich. 2C 3.0. Max Planck University. Lorenz studied instinctive behavior in animals, especially in grey-lag geese and jackdaws. Working with geese, he investigated the principle of imprinting, the process by which some nidifugous birds, i.e., birds that leave their nest early, bond instinctively with the first moving object that they see within the first hours of hatching, whether mother goose or a scientist. He argued that animals have an inner drive to carry out instinctive behaviors, and that if they do not encounter the right stimulus, they will eventually engage in the behavior with an inappropriate stimulus. Fundamental to Lorenz's theory of ecology is the function of negative feedback mechanisms, which, in hierarchical fashion, dampen impulses that occur beneath a certain threshold. To gain a desired prey, a dog or wolf will do things that, in other contexts, they would shy away from: run through thorn bushes, jump into cold water, and expose themselves to risks which would normally frighten them. All these inhibitory mechanisms act as a counterweight to the effects of learning mechanisms. The organism cannot allow itself to pay a price which is not worth paying. In his later years, he joined the Austrian Green Party and protested a power plant construction on the Danube that would have degraded the surrounding ecosystem. He also became quite philosophical, writing that the best hope for mankind lies in our looking for mates based on the kindness of their hearts rather than good looks or wealth. 1968 years ago today, Elton John and his songwriting partner Bernie Taupin were signed by DJM Publishing. Their signatures had to be witnessed by their parents because they were both under 21 years of age. Taupin answered an advertisement for a lyric writer that appeared in the New Musical Express, and the pair have since collaborated on over 30 albums. 1933 years ago today, Doug Wilder in Virginia became the first elected African-American governor in United States history. The attorney and veteran was a state senator and lieutenant governor and later the mayor of Virginia's capital city, Richmond. Also, on the same day, David Dinkins was elected as the first African-American mayor of New York City. 1911, and 30 years ago today, Irish woman Mary Robinson became the first woman to be elected president of the